Hey, how's it going, guys? Or nobody. um, it's been a while since I've said anything about anything that's going on in this road, right? I like to just observe. I just like to watch, and I like to allow things to play out and see what's going on. And before I give any of my opinions for myself or for my kids in the future to watch these videos. Um, I want to have a reasonable take on things and where I stand and my own personal opinions, right? So I think I'm just going to talk about a bunch of stuff, bring up a lot of things, and just see where they land, right? Uh, First off, I want to talk about Minneapolis, right? And what's going on out there with ICE and the white lady and the white guy that got killed. Um, this is what I think about it. First of all, anytime somebody dies, it sucks. Anytime somebody gets killed, it sucks. It just sucks, right? But what I don't want to do is I don't want to pretend like it's a tragedy. It's not. These people, the lady and the guy, the nurse guy that were killed. Let's be honest, guys. The world's a better place without them here. These people were professional agitators, professional victims. These people did not make society better. These people did not contribute positively to society. I don't care that the guy was a nurse. Oh wow, great. I know a lot of female nurses that are whores. I know a lot of people that work in the medical field that are sociopaths. They're crazy. They're fucking insane. I don't know how they got in that field. And now it's coming out that anybody can be a nurse. A lot of Indian nurses and doctors, they're not really nurses and doctors. They're getting fake diplomas from, fraudsters that are able to manipulate documents and create fake diplomas, right? Should they have been killed? Yeah, absolutely. Um, it's just the truth. If it doesn't matter if you think you're doing the right thing. Anytime you're going to slam the gas on a car that might almost hit a law enforcement officer, you're gonna get shot. It doesn't matter if you're going to hit them. If it looks like they're gonna get hit, you're gonna get shot. If myself, any one of my kids had done the same thing that lady did, we would have been shot. It doesn't matter if it was ICE, FBI, CIA, uh, Chula Vista PD, San Diego PD, we would have been shot. That's just a fact. We would have been shot. In that same scenario, we would have been shot. So I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad for her kids. I think she had a couple kids. I feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for her spouse because her spouse was there, instigating her to do it, right? And this is a person that had a history of doing stupid shit. And there's a saying for a reason, and it holds valid almost any time it's used. And the saying is play stupid games, win stupid prizes. She played a stupid game. And for what reason, I could never understand, right? The guy, same thing, played stupid games. He won stupid prizes. It's really that simple. Anybody else in that situation would have been shot. And I'm supposed to feel bad for these people for putting themselves in that position. I don't. I don't feel bad for them. I feel bad for the people that love them. I feel bad for their kids if they had any. I feel bad for the good people in their life that really cared about these people. But I don't care about them. Like, no, to be honest, America is a better country now that both of them are gone. These people were freaks. They were psychotic. They were animals. Um, you know, take away politics, take away the fact that you agree or align with them politically, and I you'll agree with me. These people were borderline retarded. But it also comes back to something I talked about a while ago. I do believe that a lot of people in this country, I can't give you like a strong percentage or a number and be like, oh, it's exactly 51.638%. No, it's nothing like that. It's exactly 20.4 million people. There's a lot of people, guys, in this world that live in a constant state of hypnosis. It's just the truth. I'm as convinced of that as I am that there's a God. I it's just that's where I stand. These people were hypnotized to do things that I don't know if they willingly were doing them. But because they lived in that constant trance, they made stupid decisions. And because they made stupid decisions, they were killed. I understand it's probably not the most politically thing or to say, politically correct thing to say. And I know it's probably not the nicest thing to say. But the truth is the truth. These people were retards. These people were zombies. These people were out there causing problems. These people were out there. It's like jumping in a lion cage, putting meat and blood all over your body. Right? And then looking at the lion and running at the lion, trying to slap the lion in the face while you have all this fresh, raw meat on you, dripping in blood. What do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna get shot. You're gonna get mauled to that raw, right? I feel bad for the people that cared about these people. I feel bad that somebody who really loved these people now no longer have these people in their life. I have 4 boys, and I've said it a lot of times. I can't imagine my life before my kids were born, just any one of them, all of them. I never imagined my life with a kid, let alone 4. But now that I have 4, I can't imagine my life without any one of them. And there's times where, for some reason, I'm just chilling. I could be laying down, playing on my phone. I could be driving. Heck, I can just have a dream. And the thought comes across my mind and of something bad happening to my babies. And man, it wears on me emotionally. I get teary-eyed real fast. I get emotional. I get angry at the thought. I start hating myself and questioning why the hell did this thought come to my mind. It's kind of like, my brain is trying to, create the scenario, and I'm not okay with that, like, ever. And so I tell my brain to shut the F up. Like, I just can't imagine my life. And although my 22, 23-year-old, I very rarely see him because he's out there doing 22, 23-year-old stuff. Just his mere existence, knowing he's out there living his best life, doing his thing, that makes me happy. Even though I don't get to see him as much as I want, spend time with him as much as I want, just look at his beautiful smile, his presence, his aura. Just the thought that he's out there doing him makes me happy. Knowing that he's healthy makes me happy. And it doesn't matter. I can go 5-10 years without seeing that boy. And the moment he walks through my door, it'll bring the most immense joy I've ever felt. Because I love him. And, it just... I don't wish that agony on anybody. I don't. But as individuals, as independent people making independent choices, these are not good people, bro. These are the same people that would be on a TikTok or Instagram, like these retarded nurses talking about we should inject conservative patients with, such and such chemical so they can stop breathing. And you're starting to see that everywhere. Granted, the internet is full of bots. So there's a good chance that a lot of that is actually content just created by bots. And then you have retarded people being like, yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that. Because they're retarded. And the odds are they live in a constant state of hypnosis. And so, something gets brought up and they're just automatically triggered to respond the way they respond. And that's my thought on that. I think people need to stop playing with law enforcement. They need to stop messing with law enforcement. They need to just let these people do what they're supposed to do, which is their job. And it's a lawful job, and it's a just job, and it's a job that needs to happen. It's a job that has to happen if we're going to keep America America. And so that's really all I have to say about that, right? Iran. Iran is tricky, man. Iran is a tricky. It's a tricky topic. It really is. I feel for the people of Iran, but not just the people of Iran. I feel for the people of the world that live under constant fear of saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, believing the wrong thing, believing the wrong God, having the wrong religion. I feel bad for all of them. And as an American, I have this instinct where I wanna protect them. I wanna save them. Here's where I guess the confliction, comes into play. The confliction happens because these people got themselves into this situation by making a lot of bad choices. In America, we were almost there. We were almost there, guys. We were at that red line where if Hillary or Kamala were the Democrat Party in general were to have another 8 years of authority, I do believe we would have lost America. America wouldn't be America. It would eventually devolve into a Cuba style situation. And the reason I say that is not because I'm trying to say crazy things. No, it's because we can look at where the alignment is with these people that have these beliefs. We can look at the UK right now. We can look at France. We can look at all of the EU. They're literally, right now, importing everybody from across the world. And they're arresting any of their citizens, natural born citizens, that speak out against it. That was going to be us. That was almost us. These are people that third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth generation, their family has only been European since the beginning. And these people are being displaced. These people are being imprisoned for wanting to maintain the country that they created, that they built, that their ancestors built. And they're being replaced with people from countries where you've seen what their ancestors were able to do, which is just trash, nothing, destruction, take, no building. They don't build, they don't create, they just take. They take and destroy, and they destroy by just taking. Because when you take, all you're doing is really just destroying. That's really at the end of the day what you're doing when you just take. And so that's why I say if these guys or these people would have got more power for just a little bit longer, we would be in that same exact situation that these people in the EU are in, where it would have just been a there. Who was it? There's a saying where it goes slowly and then suddenly, right? We were on that slow progression towards that authoritarian state. And what happens when you go from slowly, eventually it's suddenly. And that slow roll, COVID was that sudden, right? That's where myself and a lot of people woke up was during COVID. Because during COVID, that's when our government, under the Democrat Party, attempted to institute things that were barbarian, just barbarian. And, forced vaccinations, vaccine passports, you know, just they went through the whole gambit where if you spoke out, they censored you, they kicked you off of all social media, they silenced you. In many cases, they debanked. You saw that in Canada with the truckers protesting. They debanked them. Then they threw them in jail. I mean, just extreme stuff, man. We were on that brink. We really were. I don't think people really fully appreciate how close we were to that being instituted every day. Every day for the rest of our lives, and then getting progressively worse every single day, every month, every year, until eventually we were Iran, we were North Korea, we were Cuba. And so my heart goes out to these people, but at the same time, what's to keep these people from doing the same mistake? What assurances do Americans get for shedding our blood, our money, our weapons, our time, our help? What's to keep these people from rolling back into exactly what they asked for in the first place? Right? And I don't know if it's worth it. It's the same thing with the people in Gaza, the Palestinians. It's the same thing with the Israelis and the Jews. There comes a point where you just have to allow punishment to happen for the choices that were made. And people unfortunately have to die. People have to be sacrificed for choices that they made, that their ancestors made, in order to rectify the wrongs that were done in the past. And I just don't know if they've done that enough in Iran. I just don't know if that's the truth. People are still snitching on each other. Neighbors are snitching on neighbors, families snitching on family, because they'd rather live under the umbrella of what they have instead of moving to a place of unknown. And as much as I want to say we should help these people, there's a large part of me that's like, they got to figure it out themselves. All the men need to go out there and they need to just keep dying. Women need to go out there and they need to just keep dying. And once they get to the point where so many people have been killed and there's not enough people to subjugate, that's when the government will start making changes, because they're like, hey, if we keep killing these people, if we keep torturing them, this is only going to get progressively worse for us, and eventually we're going to have nobody to rule over. At the same time, the bleeding heart in me says, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is that turning point. Maybe this time it'll be different. Maybe if we help them, we can help get them to a place where they can move into a more democratic style republic. But I don't know who said it, but all democracies eventually end up in totalitarianism, because eventually the people will vote their way back into a totalitarian state. I don't have a good response for that. I want to help them, but at the same time, it's like, y'all got to help yourself first. You got to go out there. Um, the people of the country need to start fighting for it. Not just the way they're fighting now, but keep it going for years and years and years. And it's got to put so much pressure onto the government, onto the system, that eventually they cave and they're like, okay, guys, look. And that's how things have always happened and existed throughout all of history. Is eventually enough people die that change comes about. This time it might be different. This time it might be. I just don't know if it is. I know several people from Iran, and they're so excited because they believe that our president, our government can help them, and this is the time. And I feel that as well. But to what end? To what end? I have four boys, and I don't want them going off and risking their life for Iranians if they were to ever join the military. I don't. If they were to ever serve this military of the United States of America, I would want them to only serve the people of America, to go and fight for the people of America from foreign and domestic enemies. And that's where I stand. I want the best for these people. I think I think we are at a turning point, but I think they need to go do more for themselves. I think they need to go harder. And I think it needs to get so severe from the people in the country that eventually the government has no choice. And I don't think we're there yet. I think they need to do more. Um, they're not there yet. They're just not. My fear is that if America intervenes, that opens a doorway to backlash, right? That opens a door towards the people of Iran. Let's throw some hypotheticals, right? Let's say we start bombing Iran, right? And we start targeting the mullahs and the ayatollah, and we start killing them off. What do you think's going to happen if there's just one innocent bystander there? All of a sudden, the focus is on us. Maybe we took out thousands, tens of thousands of bad guys, but one innocent person got caught. God forbid it's a kid. God forbid it's a kid. Now, all of a sudden, we are the enemy. And all we did was we reunited the government with its people. And now those people are willing to tolerate more of what they've lived through because now they have a common enemy, which is us. And I don't think that risk is worth the reward. What are we going to get in return, guys? What do we need from Iran? A stable Middle East? We don't live in the Middle East. We're not close to the Middle East. So what benefit is there for America and Americans to go and trigger a possible war and to go and sacrifice our kids, our fathers, our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers? Like, what benefit is there for us so we can feel good, so we can feel like we did something good? And then in the last minute, God forbid, a bomb just gets misdirected or something happens or there's a false flag and they're able to successfully convince the people of Iran that it was an American bomb, then we lose. And I do have something to say to all these people that are of Iranian origin that are now American citizens that are like, we need to do it. We need to help them. I want to remind them that you came to this country. You came to this country begging us to save you, to protect you. You came to this country saying, I want to be an American. And so for you to start protesting and asking our government to go save the country that you ran away from, the people in that country that you ran away from, and I understand there's probably a lot of good people there, man. But to ask this country to do something for your old country, that breaks your allegiance that you did, that you made, that you swore an oath to this country, to the people of this country. You're asking us to sacrifice us and our resources for your old country. So are you really an American? Are you really willing? Are you really an American, or are you still an Iranian? Because if you're an Iranian and this is what you want from America, I think you need to go back home. I think you need to go back home, and you need to join the fight. You need to go sacrifice yourself before you ask natural born citizens to die for your old country. You unfortunately need to sacrifice yourself, go fight the good fight, take everybody that's on board with you that's of Iranian origin, and you need to go fight that good fight, guys. You need to go fight that good fight, sacrifice yourself, sacrifice as many of yourself as possible to change the course of history for that country. Because you don't belong here. You don't. My lineage goes back to Mexico. But I have no desire, no matter what happens in Mexico, to go and shed blood for the country of Mexico to save Mexican citizens. You know why? Because I'm an American. Do I want the people of Mexico to figure it out? Do I want the people of Mexico to be free of the cartels and the corrupt government? I do. I do. I hope and pray and wish that for them. But they got to do it themselves, guys. They have to fight that fight. Now, the only reason that I would be a little bit more prompt in intervening with Mexico is because we border we border them, right? We share a border with them, and so whatever happens there eventually trickles here. But it wouldn't be to save Mexicans; it would be to one more time protect us from the chaos that's happening there. So it would still be out of selfish reasons. To go and kill cartel and to try to fix that government, that would still be for our benefit. It would be the same thing with Canada. If Canada is going to devolve into this chaotic place and it's going to trickle into our country, then because we border with them and that's trickling into our country, we should do something about it because we don't want it to get out of control. We always want to maintain a level of control. As far as Venezuela, you know, how amazing is it? How amazing is America? How amazing is our country and our military and our technology that we can overthrow an entire government in the span of 3 hours? How amazing, bro. How proud I am of this country that we are so freaking awesome that we have the ability to overthrow an entire government in the span of 3 hours. Now, granted, positioning, strategics, all that took months, right? But the actual action took 3 hours. And no American lives were lost. There were no significant injuries. And we were able to overthrow that government. It's amazing. It's a testament to how great this country can be when we have proper representation. And notice how I say representation, not leadership. Because Donald Trump is not our leader. The Republican Party, the United States government is not our leader. They are not our leaders, guys. They are our representatives. They are people that are supposed to represent us in our capacity as a bloc. We, I'm happy for the people of Venezuela. I am. I'm happy that, there's a sense of liberation there because there is. But one more time, we are able to benefit from that because we can just take their oil, that sweet crude, and we can use it for our own personal benefit. And a side benefit of that for the Venezuelans is they get a second chance. But what is there for us in Iran? What is there for us in North Korea? What benefit do we get from that other than a stable Middle East? Well, guess what, guys? If the Middle East wants to be stable, Qatar can send their own people, right? Saudi Arabia, Israel, all those countries, the EU, all of them can send their fighting aged males and females, because now we live in an age of equality, and they can go fight that war to stabilize the Middle East. What benefit do we get from that? We get none. That's not even our region. That's not even our hemisphere. If anything, it's a net negative for us to interfere because the only thing that we can possibly receive in return is if something goes bad, we get the backlash. I've done a lot of thinking about this, and I believe I'm right. I really do believe that. I do not want any of my kids, if they were ever to join the military, to go fight a war for people, and then they still have that same ideology, that same mentality, and so it's just going to be a wash, rinse, repeat. Now, I know there's a lot of talking heads online saying, well, if we go, it's going to be for the benefit of Israel. Well, guys, guess what? Iran getting overthrown is not just beneficial to Israel, it's beneficial to the entire Middle East. North Korea, getting overthrown and is not beneficial just to Israel, it's beneficial to the entire Middle East, and that includes the European nations. What do we benefit from that? What do we get in return? What is our possible outcome? And you really have to answer that in an honest basis, right? What is there for us, except for if one little tiny thing goes bad, all we're going to do is get the backlash. That's where we land. We're going to get the backlash. I think Iran needs to continue. And there's estimates that 40, 50, 60,000 people have already been killed. It's not enough. It's not enough. Let's ask Grok. What's the current population of Iran? Almost 93 million people, guys. 93 million people, and you're telling me 50, let's just say on the high side, 16,000 people have died. That's not enough. I'm sorry. It's not enough. They got to kick those numbers up to 10, 15, 20 million. Think about this. Russian soldiers, when they fought the German regime during World War II, lost almost 20 million people fighting back the Germans. Almost 20 million people. They were the primary fighting force in winning and beating and defeating Germany. They lost 20 million people. I think estimates were about 1/3 of the population. Iran's not even there. They're not even there, guys. What is it, 0.02% of the population? That's not enough. It's not enough sacrifice. It's not enough blood. They're not doing enough to reclaim the land that they lost. And why is it our responsibility? Why is it America's responsibility? What benefit do we get? Those numbers need to magnify by 50, 100 before we even consider getting involved. Now, it does appear that our president, President Trump, is positioning ourselves to use some, do some action there. And I believe in President Trump. The guy has been phenomenal as a representative, as a public servant. He's made great decisions, and whether you like him or not, you at some point in time you have to get out of the Trump derangement syndrome, and you have to admit the guy is on fucking. Excuse me, the guy is on fire. He's on a roll, man. He's on a generational run that we probably won't experience for the rest of our lives after he's gone. As far as Cuba is concerned, it's the same thing, guys. How many people in Cuba have sacrificed themselves trying to fight the regime? It's not enough. The entire country needs to devolve in a full blown out civil war against their government if they really want it. But you know what happens is all the ones that can run away. They run away, they come to America, they run to different places, and then they ask us, the place that they ran to go and fight the place they ran, rather than them staying and fighting their own war. I'm not okay with that. I'm not. Go fight your own war. Go fight the war for your countrymen. Go stand with your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad, your cousins, and fight that war. And enough bloodshed hasn't been had. Because that's the only way anything can sustain. It has to be earned. And it has to be earned by the people of that homeland. So that's where I stand. I trust President Trump to do what he's going to do. And if he chooses to actively participate and take action against Iran, I'm going to trust the process, because so far he hasn't failed us. What is the one thing he's failed us? Most people are going to be like, oh, the Epstein files. Okay. You all want files that have been under seal for 15, 20 years. And these are politically charged files with a lot of very important names there. A lot of very, 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 very well-connected names there. There's a really good chance, guys, those files have been heavily manipulated, burned, shredded. So all the stuff that's pertinent is probably gone already. It's probably all gone. There's a good chance that a lot of what we've already seen is what they have. And whatever's going to come out is just going to be a wash, rinse, repeat of what's already come out. These are files and documents, guys, that implicate both Republican and Democrat Congress, presidents, royals, elites. You really believe that these files are going to be intact? You really believe that these files haven't been altered or manipulated? You really believe that the good stuff hasn't been shredded, burned, erased? It's all gone, guys. So we don't even know if it's a failure, because we're under the assumption that everything is 100% intact and it's still there. And you take into no consideration that these files have been held by multiple administrations. Multiple. And we're accusing multiple administrations of actively participating and knowingly participating in whatever happened at Epstein, and you think that those files are going to be intact? You think they haven't been altered? You think that they haven't been manipulated? Come on, guys. Come on. You're living in a cloud if you think that's not the case. And so I don't know. I have that same sentiment as a lot of the people. Where's the files? I would like to see the files as well. But something inside of me says that what we have is really all there is. Because it's all been destroyed, guys. It's all gone. And if you think that the powerful of the most powerful people in the world are going to allow those files to exist through multiple administrations, going back to 2008. So you have, you're all the way to the early 2000s. You're talking through the Bush years, the Obama years, the Biden years, the Trump years. You're insane. You're crazy. It's not going to happen. When the rest of the files come out, it's going to be a lot of nothing. It's because they've all been washed. All the good stuff's been deleted, burnt. And so that's my opinion about that. Jerome Powell, man. You know what? He's going out the door, and we have somebody new that's going to be coming in on May. I'm kind of a 50-50 on Jerome Powell. Overall, I don't think he's done a bad job. But I do think that a lot of his decisions are based solely on politics. And I hate that I hate the fact that he comes out and he's like, I'm not political. No, he is. He absolutely is playing politics with the Federal Reserve. And he has been, right? But you still have to give the guy credit. He's done a pretty decent job. Kind of. Better than Janet Yellen out in the Treasury. He's done pretty decent. However, I do think it's time for him to go because the decisions that can be made and should be made aren't being made. And I think that's because he's playing politics too much. He has his favorites. He has who he wants in power. And guess what, guys? The power of the purse is where the true power lies. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens once he's removed. Georgia. They just issued a warrant, and they just raided the Georgia election office in Fulton County, Georgia. It's gonna be bad, guys. And the next one's gonna be out in Maricopa, Arizona. I think it's Maricopa or something like that. That's Georgia's the first stop. It's the first stop. There's going to be multiple of this happening. The stuff that's going to come out is going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. And yeah, there's really not much you can say about that until everything comes, all of it starts coming out. It's going to be bad. I don't know if our country survives everything that's going to be coming out over the next couple years. And if Trump loses the midterms, which for some reason I actually feel pretty optimistic about the midterms, it's gonna get bad. If he loses, nothing's gonna happen with it. If he wins, by the end of his term, it's all gonna be exposed. And I don't see Democrats winning power for quite a while. I just don't. But if Democrats win, it all gets shut down fast, immediately, within the first day of inauguration of the new president. China. China is a threat, man. China is a threat. We hear this term New World Order a lot. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that New World Order was supposed to be the UN with China at the head. I think the transition was supposed to happen between the UN and China. that was an agreement that was made a long time ago, that China was going to be the new superpower, but the UN was going to be its governing structure. I think states like California are purposely doing their best to tank the United States economy. I think politicians like Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and others, Mitch McConnell, I think that they've actively participated in the selling out of America to China. All these refineries closing in California, guys, though that doesn't just impact California, and that's where I live. I live in San Diego, California. It impacts the country. California is the fifth or fourth largest economy in the world, and it's just a state, one out of 50 states, and it's the fourth or fifth largest economy in the world. Think about that. If they can tank California, they can tank the economy of America. And I see what Trump is doing, our President Trump. He's doing his best to make business across America more desirable so that it reduces the harm if California were to collapse. It reduces the impact. I don't know if there's enough time to make that true. And what really made me believe that that's accurate is the fact that, when the president of China came, what happened? They cleaned up the streets. They did a royal welcome to him. They brought him in like he was the president of the country already. Do y'all remember that? If you don't, go look it up, guys. I think our country was sold out a long time ago. I think what President Trump's doing is he's attempting to do a soft coup and bring it back. We just regained control of the Panama Canal. And, we're taking back our hemisphere, which is what Venezuela was about, and then eventually Cuba. And so I understand the desire to go into those countries, because if we can regain control of our hemisphere, we can stabilize our hemisphere. It still goes back to my first principle, which is I don't think there's enough sacrifice there. I don't think enough people have lost their lives fighting for their own freedom. And because of that, I don't feel like America should get involved. They need to want it more than us. If we want it more than them, then they're not ready. They're not ready. They're just going to go back to what they already had. They got to sacrifice with blood. They got to sacrifice with hate and anger. They have to sacrifice with sadness and sorrow. And only once you get to that point should we even consider intervening. But I'm going to trust the process because I trust President Trump and I trust his cabinet. I trust Marco Rubio. I want to talk about family. Before I had kids, I never imagined my life with kids, never wanted kids. And now that I have 4 boys, I can't imagine my life without them. Just one. Anything happening to one would just devastate me. I don't know what I would do, man. It just, they're so perfect and beautiful and amazing. We live in a time where politicians, media, all of them are talking about the world's overpopulated, global warming, climate change, all this crazy nonsense. And to combat that, their solution is to have fewer kids. If I can encourage anybody, it's to ignore that. Ignore all that. Having kids, once you have kids, you realize that living life is about something greater than yourself. Once you have kids and you see them slowly grow up to be the these grown-ups, and you see the process and the change, and you see the time and energy that you invested in them, and they become these amazing little people, and you just hold them through all the ups and downs. And there's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs, guys. When my kids got hospitalized and they were in there for weeks, it's an extreme down, bro. It's so down. You're just praying to God to get through it. And then when you get through it and everything works out, you're just thanking God that everything worked out. There's no greater gift in life that God can give you than kids. There's not. There's no greater gift, guys. If you don't have kids, I encourage you to get married and go have kids. Find a good woman. Stop chasing a beautiful woman. Stop chasing a dime. And just find a good, normal, average woman. One that's good looking enough to keep you sexually appealed, but one that's willing to go to war with you, man. Go to war with you. She'll stand by your side no matter what. And give her kids. Give yourself kids, man. Because they are worth it. You cannot ask for God's greatest gift and expect it to come perfect. Kids are perfect. But life is not perfect. If God were to reward any one of you today with $1 billion and just give it to you, you will have extreme highs of living a life that you could never imagine. But you would go through such extreme lows because of all the people that would come out of the woodwork trying to scam you, trying to take it from you, trying to sue you for it. You would go through the extreme low of all the bad actors in your life, all the family, all the friends that all of a sudden just pop out of nowhere and just try to bring you down, trying to take what you've been given. If I had $1 billion and one of my kids was dying, I'd give that $1 billion up for just one kid. And if I could give more, I'd give all of it. That's how much I love my kids, and that's most parents. So you're talking about $1 billion compared to one kid. There's no greater gift. And so the extreme highs you're going to experience are going to be the most extreme of the highs. The most extreme of the lows are going to be the most extreme of the lows that you experience. Because there is no greater gift. None. There's no car, there's no house, there's no possession you can have that when you have a kid that you wouldn't sacrifice or give up in exchange for the health and life of that person, because they are so freaking amazing. And so that's why I brought up the whole thing with the money, because I'm trying to give you a perspective, an understanding. If people are willing to undercut you and come at you for money, and you're going to go through the extreme lows, well, guess what, guys? It's even worse when you have kids. One of my babies almost drowned in Mission Bay. And thankfully, I saw him. And I don't know how the hell I got to him so fast, because I was far. But I just realized, like, where's Aiden? I started looking around. I didn't see him in the water. And if you're familiar with Mission Bay, we were by the concrete on the grass, the walkway. And I just started scanning, looking for him, and I couldn't see him. I didn't see him anywhere, man. And finally, I saw his little head come out the water, and then he went back down. And it was right by an inlet. And so the water was taking him into the inlet. And he was tiny at this time. I've never in my life ran so fast and covered more ground in such a short amount of time. And then when I got in that water and I grabbed him and I put him out, I had never been more afraid in my life and more relieved because I almost lost my boy, you know? You cannot ask and be rewarded with God's greatest gifts without that great gift coming with the extreme highs and the extreme lows. And when you have those kids, guys, there's nothing more important. There's no sports game. There's no female. There's no money. There's no job. There's nothing that when the time comes and you're about to lose them, that you wouldn't sacrifice for that person. And it is so worth it. It is so worth it. They are so worth it. When they start off at babies and they look at you with those beautiful, innocent eyes that they don't know anything. They don't know hate. They don't know anger. They just need. The only way they know how to communicate to you is by crying. And so they cry, and that is their way of telling you they need something or there's something wrong. And then you see them and they grow their first tooth, and then their second tooth, and then they have 4 teeth, and they smile at you, man. And then they pee on you and poop and throw up on you. God, I'll tell you, man, it is so worth it. It is so, 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 so worth it. Get married, have kids, man. Don't stop at one. Have two, have three, have four, have five. Have as many as you can take care of. As many as you can assign the appropriate amount of time and energy to. Because they are so worth it. You'll never love like you love your own child. You'll never love. There's nothing that compares to it. So that's that. Find a good woman, man. Stop chasing the shiny thing in life. Stop chasing the most beautiful girls in the world and find you a good woman, man. Find you a good woman that's on the same direction as you and that's willing to go to war with you. That's willing to stick with you through all the ups and all the downs. Find a woman that's able to stand next to you when you have nothing. And then you work your ass off to give her everything. And don't you ever betray her because something prettier came, something hotter, something sexier. Don't ever, ever turn her in for that. Ever. Because what you're going to find is that is going to disappear. But what that woman was willing to stand with you when you had nothing and you're trying to create, you're trying to build for her, for your family, she stood by you no matter what. That is a woman you keep. That is a woman you take care of. That is a woman that you reward with as much as you can give her. So that's really all I have to say about that. Now, I want to talk about so-called conservative right-wing podcasters or YouTubers or whatever the hell you want to call them. I want to talk about the Joe Rogans, the Dave Smiths, these liberals or independents, these reformed, progressives. You know, and this is going to go back to the first thing I talked about. When these stupid people got shot by ICE agents or Homeland Security agents, they came out and they're like, this isn't what we asked for. Yes, we want deportations, but it was supposed to just be the criminals. It was just supposed to be the bad people. And what we're seeing stuff done out of malice. The tactics are so aggressive. They're so mean and whatever. This is what I gotta say to all of them. There is no such thing as a humane tactic when it comes to grabbing people that aren't supposed to be in this country, but they want to be here. There's no process in life when you need to grab somebody and send them back to a country they do not want to be in. There's no such thing as a humane tactic. There's only the process of getting it done. And as much as I like Joe Rogan's and the Dave Smiths and all of these other talking heads, my plea to them is pick a side. Pick a side. Because this bouncing back and forth stuff you do, it's old. This playing the middle ground shit, it's old. You guys are such cowards. You guys are such cowards that you want to be liked by everybody. You want to take this neutral ground. That way you can bounce back and forth as you please. It's so cowardly. And there's no doubt in my mind that if Joe Rogan wanted to find me and beat me up, oh, absolutely, the guy would dominate me. Am I a good fighter? Absolutely, but let's be honest. That guy's built like a tank. That guy, he does taekwondo or something. I've seen the way he kicks. One kick to my stomach and my stomach's going to collapse in. There's no way I would be able to take on Joe Rogan, not without a lot more muscle and a lot more training. Because the guy's a beast. But mentally, he's a coward. Mentally, he wants to play this neutral ground where, well, yes, we need to deport, but this is inhumane. You dumb son of a... When in life has that ever been humane? When in life has this ever been a process where it's like, hi, Jose. Hi, Muhammad. Hi, Patel. We're here to remove you back to Mexico, back to the Middle East, back to India. So go ahead and just grab your stuff and we'll get you on a plane, first class. We'll make sure you have plenty of snacks. That's not the process. That will never be the process because these are people that don't want to go home. And so when I look at these people, I don't see people who, I don't see serious people. I see clowns. I see people that are doing their best to play this neutral ground when it's not neutral. And when I voted for Trump, I didn't vote for him to deport the criminals and the bad people. I voted for him to deport everybody. All of them. Every single one of them. I don't care about their sob story. And you know what I hear a lot is, well, these people, you know, these are good people. These are the people that make our country better. And my response to that is, you're right. That's exactly why they should go home. They need to go home and help make their own country better. They need to go home and fight for their country, establish their country, build in their country, not this country. We have plenty of Americans like myself, my wife, her family, my family that have been here for hundreds of years. My kids' future kids, my cousins, we're capable of doing America. We don't need them. We just don't. America was great before these people showed up. It's going to be great once we get them all out of here. I assure you. America will not collapse when we get rid of these people. America will be better because then American jobs will be for America. We don't need them. I don't want them. I don't. I'm tired of seeing Mexican flags being waved. I'm tired of people driving and they're waving a Puerto Rican flag. I'm tired of looking inside somebody's car and off of their rearview mirror there's an Iranian flag. I'm tired of that. If you're not waving an American flag, you need to go home. If you're not willing to fight and stand for America, Americans, you need to go home. You need to go be proud at home. Unless you are a hardcore American and you will punch somebody in the mouth if they ever attempted to call you an Iranian American, a Cuban American, anything that's in front of American, I don't want you here. I don't. I want hardcore, redneck, Black Panther Americans. I want people that are willing to stand and die on the American flag. That's it. I don't want anybody else. That's why I like the Black Panthers. That's why I like, those types of institutions. The KKK, you know what? I respect that. I don't respect what they stood for, but I respected the fact that they were trying to protect their homeland. I respect the Black Panthers because they were trying to protect the homeland. I respect any organization. I don't care how extreme it is. If they are standing for America and Americans, I'm cool with you. If you want to be a racist, be a racist. I don't care. If you want to hate population, certain segments of the population because you just want to hate them because of their skin color or their facial features, go ahead, hate them. But if we go to war, when we fight next to each other against our enemy, are you going to stand and fight with me? And if the answer is yes, then let's go. Let's go. All this race stuff, bro, it's played out, man. I'm okay with the racist. Racists don't bother me. You know what bothers me? These hybrids. These hybrid Americans. These hybrid Americans that come to my country and they want us to go and die for the Iranian government, the Iranian people. Those people I don't want here. They don't belong here. Go home. Fight for your own country. Go and die. Sacrifice your entire family and your future generations for your own country. And then once you're in the 10, 20 million range like the Russians did in World War II, then we can talk. But if you're not there, you're not serious people. In America, we have fought numerous wars where millions of people died, the Civil War. We have fought and bled for this country. And I would do it again. But if you're not willing to do that for the country you want Americans to go and fight for, you're not serious people and you don't belong here. Your loyalty is not to America and to Americans. Your loyalty is to Iran. Your loyalty is to Mexico, and you gotta go home. Make those countries great again by fighting, by standing up, by building, by being these extreme great people that Democrats want to make you out to be. That's amazing. Go do that at home. And so that's where I stand with that. I'm tired of seeing cowards, man. If there's anything that I push my kids to be, it's one thing, and it's not a coward. Because there's going to be a lot of times in life you're going to be tested. And you'll get through it just fine as long as you're not a coward. As long as you have conviction. Everything will end up just fine once you realize where you stand, why you stand, and then you hold that line. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about. You know, I want people on the road to live in peace, freedom, harmony, but not at the sacrifice of Americans. Because I'm not willing to sacrifice myself or my kids for the people of the road. But I'm willing to sacrifice them, my life, for the people of America and the true Americans. And being an American, being a true American, doesn't have a skin color. Because the white people were not here first. Black people were not here first. No matter how much they want to alter, history and change it. The Indians, as far as we know, the Indians were here first. And so there's no such thing as the one true American. The one true American comes in all shades and all colors, all different facial features. But what they all had in common was they were willing to fight and sacrifice. Look at the Mormons, man. The freaking Mormons, they went to war. They fought their way through to exist in this world and stand for this country. So many the black people, blacks in America, white people in America, how many of them have died for this country? The brown-skinned people of America, like myself, who joined the military and were willing to die for this country. Those are the only people I want in this country. That's it. Nobody else. You're not welcome here no more. There is one more thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about taxes and welfare. There was a time where because I do believe in helping people. I do believe that we should have some form of safety net that exists for people to fall back on when they go through hard times, because we all go through hard times. But I've reached a point where so much of my money is taken out on taxes that I essentially work 4 to 5 months out of the year for free, supporting other people. And because of that, I've reached a breaking point. And I'm no longer willing to pay more. I'm no longer willing to pay 1 penny more to help people. I don't want to hear any talk about increasing my taxes to help more. Free healthcare, free food, free education, free housing. I don't want to hear none of that shit at all. at all. My the grace that I have left is the grace that I have strictly for my family. That is reserved for my family and only my family. I'm not willing to help anybody else with no more money. So when you see these Mamdanis and essentially the Democrat Party mixed with certain Republicans talking about increasing taxes, absolutely not, guys. Absolutely not. I am not willing to spend one more tax dollar to anybody to help them. What you're taking out of my paycheck is what I'm willing to part with and nothing else. And that is even too much. I want it cut in half, if by not 90%. I want 95% of the money I earn to come to me. Oh, but the single moms, I don't care about that single mom. Here's an idea. You should have been married and you should have made it work with the father. Well, it was a one night stand. Well, you made a stupid decision and now you got to live with that. Now you got to figure it out. Well, she's in jail. Well, you had a kid with a piece of crap. You should have made better decisions. But the kids got to eat. Well, you can send them to my house. I'll raise them. I'll raise your kids. You can go live on the street. I'll buy you a tent. It's just the bleeding heart's been beat out of me, guys. It's gone. And I'm trying to explain why. It's because when we look at our government and you see over the past year where all of our money is going, it's going to nothing but frauds, scams, schemers. And until our government can get that 100% right, I don't want to hear talks about anything, any more taxes. I don't care how many billionaires there are. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care about the corporations. I'm talking about me. And you can say that this tax is for billionaires. No, it's not. No, it's not. All taxes originate with the target being billionaires, and eventually it trickles down. I don't want to hear anything about tax increases, registration increases, insurance, nothing. None. I have none. I have no sympathy no more. It's all gone. It's dead. It's burnt. The government wasted it away. They wasted my goodwill away by not taking care of the money that they already take from me. And instead of managing it, taking care of it, they did the opposite. They allowed it to just disappear. They allowed it to purposely be used on frauds, schemers, scammers. And I'm done. I'm done. I have nothing else I'm willing to separate with. And what I'm separating with now is too much. I want it back. And so, to all those people that are on some form of public assistance, I'm not sorry. I hope that all of it gets ripped from you. I want it to get ripped from you. And I don't care how you eat. And if you can't take care of your kids without my money, then you shouldn't have had kids. You shouldn't have kids at all. And if your kids need to eat, they can come to my house and I'll take care of them. And there's a lot of people that are like me that we will gladly take your kids in and we will raise them, but you lose all rights. You don't get any say. You don't get to visit them. You don't get to see them. You get nothing. What you get is I'll buy you a $30 tent. You know what? I'll even be nice. I'll buy you the double tent. I'll buy you the big $80 double tent. That's what you get from me. Nothing else. Starve to death. I don't care. I'm tired of people, especially single mothers, being rewarded for poor decisions. And at a time where we talk about equality, well, guess what? If we're going to be equal, then I'm going to treat you the same way I treat a man. When I see a homeless man, I don't feel sorry. And so when I see a homeless woman, I'm not going to feel sorry. So that's all I have to say about that. And, you know, I think we're living, I think we're going through, one more thing. I think we're living through a period, how does it go? It says, weak men create hard times create strong men create good times. I think we're living through the period of good times, strong men. I think strong men are being created today that are going to create the good times of tomorrow. And I think we're leaving the weak phase. I think the whole trans and LGBTQ and all that weird stuff, I think that's the pinnacle of it. And I think we're at the end of it. And I think we're now turning into the hard times create strong men and the strong men create good times. And so I'm very optimistic about our country. I'm very optimistic about the times of today because I do see things are going to turn. And if America could turn it around, that'll have a positive effect throughout the entire world. The EU is still going through the weak men create hard times. But they need to figure that out. And not one American needs to go and fight that war for them. They need to fight it themselves. All those Europeans need to die on that hill. And then once things get bad enough, then maybe we can talk. But unless there's 20, 30, 40 million Europeans that have died trying to retake or regain control of their country, I don't want to hear it. Don't care. Not my problem. That's your problem. And so that's where I'm at that. I've been talking for an hour and 22 minutes. Amazing. I don't know how I can talk so long. I still have a lot more to say, but that's where I'm going to leave it for now. We're living through, I do believe in America, we're living through what I just said. Hard times create strong men. I think those strong men are being created today. I know I'm creating strong men right now. And I believe that my kids and other people's kids are going to create that good future for the world. And certainly for America. And so I feel good. I feel optimistic about where we're going. And so stay positive. Be happy, man. Life is good. God is good. Go out. Find you a good woman. Women, find you a good man. Stop chasing men with money. Stop chasing, the Chads and the Tyrones. And find you a good man. A man that he's out there and he's hustling and he's doing his best to make his life better. And then give him a purpose. If you give him a purpose, he will find a way. Make yourself his purpose. Be his peace. Give him children, and he will find a way. Stop chasing the shiny things in life, bro. Men and women, stop chasing the shiny things in life. All this material stuff, it's fake. It's all fake. Because the moment you are met with a choice, give up everything shiny and keep your kid. Or let your kid go and keep everything shiny. Most people are going to be more than willing to give it all up. There's a movie called John Q with Denzel Washington and his kid needs a heart transplant. And anyways, go watch it. That's where most parents live. Thank you for your time. If anybody watches this, I really do appreciate it. Be optimistic, man. We're in good times. It's not going to be clean. It's not going to be, organized. It's going to be chaotic because the only way change comes is through chaos. It's the only way of it because You got to keep in mind the people that are in power right now that we need to remove, all the bad people, they're not going to go quiet. They're going to create chaos. And so you fight chaos with more chaos. Just that's the only way it gets done. And you just got to be stronger and will through it harder. And that's how you get through it. It's not going to be clean. It's not going to be pretty. And all these sob stories you see, you just be like, hey, it is what it is, man. And so to the Joe Rogans, the Andrew, the one from the Flagrant podcast, to all them, you got to pick a side, bro. This seesawing back and forth is cowardly. It's such cowards. Pick a side. Thank you for your time. Yeah, have a good one. Have a great weekend. And yeah, man.